Greetings, everyone. My name is Buck Business, and welcome to my review of Into the Badlands Season 2, Episode 2. So, we've now followed Sunny and Nick's character, whose name I still can't recall or get, but still, they are still chained together, and they are forced to fight that big guy that we saw from the previous episode. Uh, so we see Sunny use chain fighting along with Nick's character to uh, attempt to fight back. They move toward this vent and they find a way to stop it and then move through it. And then when the big guy that they are fighting chases them through it as well, Sunny kicks him into it as soon as it starts up again, causing him to be a bloody mess. So, Sunny and Nick get outside into this little grassland, this huge, I should say, grassland area. So now we can see Tilda, whose name I couldn't remember from the last time, so I actually looked that up. Uh, that is the girl in the blue, talking to Sunny's mentor, the one in the wheelchair, uh, talking about holding in your emotions because having those emotions will cause you to do really silly things or will cause you to be weaker, essentially. So we cut to this white priest like group. We have seen them before. They took in the mother of the current Baron, whose name I also don't remember right off the top of my head, but they are celebrating the marriage between Reese and Hera, I believe the names were. But shortly after, these two, I guess, mercenaries, I don't know what group they were a part of, but I'll just refer to them as mercenaries for now. Um, Immediately, one of them chucks a spear at the Reese guy, killing him, which causes the rest of the priest in the area to essentially go to their knees and just wait and allow to whatever happens. So, uh, that mother I was referring to kills all the two mercs, and afterwards, her dad, uh, said that it'd be left to God to kill, not humans. So that's what their group is all about, not getting involved in fights. And she didn't want any part of that, so she left later on in the episode. Anyways, we then cut to MK, who is shivering the night away, and we can see his mentor, that priest woman, watching over her. She brings him into this mirror room, which allows him to see uh, the events he had done while under that dark power. He was pushed out relatively quickly by his darker self, and MK didn't want to face that darker self within that moment. And it would appear that that little scene at the end of the first episode, which I actually didn't talk about because I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a hallucination. Apologies for that slip up, but Quinn does appear to be alive now. I don't know how that is, but he is alive somehow. So I would kind of like them to at least explain that one, because I'm not sure how he's alive. But he does have Sunny's wife with him too, with I believe, their baby. Then we cut to the writer, who is the current Red Baron, Quinn's son. Uh, his mother had came back, the one that I was talking about earlier, the one that was with the white priest group, but he didn't want to look over her, and he talked about how she doubted him, so now he's gonna leave her to be whatever. So she has to be on her own now. We see Nick get a squirrel as they're traveling through the grassland, and he kills it essentially. And it's a really quick scene, but he's later on eating it, and then he just essentially like unlocks the chain a little bit later. While Sunny was trying to hit it with a rock over and over again, unsuccessful, of course. So Nick's character, I should say, does have some talent to him. He has some skills to him that will probably prove useful. He seems to know his way around the area that they're in, which again comes in a little bit later. We see MK talking to that blonde girl, and I don't remember her name. I think she said it in the first episode, but I didn't catch it. Uh, and she talked about how uh, everyone has killed somebody, so that gives enough confidence to return, but it's still not enough when he's uh, tasked to face his dark side again. He eventually loses again, essentially. Uh, so it would appear that Quinn, who we get a little bit more of in this episode later on, is now sort of the Baron of this new group. I don't know what this new group is called quite yet, uh, but they seem to be like this sort of rebellious group against everyone else now. At least that's what I'm going to assume is the case. Uh, so they named the baby that they had, I believe that they had, is Henry, which I think she was trying to get under her Quinn's skin by doing that because that was her father's name, and of course, Quinn killed her father, so it didn't seem to bother him too much, at least from what I could tell. Uh, so as I mentioned, Nick and Sunny are now unchained, and uh, they run into this wall, and then uh, Nick's character essentially says, "Hey, I know a way, so let's go that way." Uh, Hold on, give me a minute here. Alright, so they follow him. Oh, he follows him, sorry. And then we see the widow training Tilda for a little bit. And then they talk about this conclave meeting between the barons that is going to be happening. And it seems like there is an assumption that there's going to be like this peaceful meeting, but the widow wants to immediately kill all of them, but Sunny's mentor's like, hold on, we could try diplomacy first, but if things don't work out, yeah, you can kill all of them, essentially. So, as I said, Sunny and Nick pass by that wall, and I believe that's the last event that happens in this episode. Either that or it was the resolve of that conclave meeting, or the talks about it at the very least. So it was interesting to see Nick's character prove to be more than what he was. I believe there's probably going to be even more to this character as the season continues. I think he's going to be a recurring character. It seems like that's going to be the case here. Uh, like I said, I'd like to see or have answered how Quinn is alive at this moment. There seems to be these, mystical powers in this show, so maybe there's something to do with that. Uh, I'm not sure, but Quinn is alive, and uh, it's going to be interesting to see how his new group will interact, if they are going to be a part of this conclave meeting. I don't even know if they know about it, but maybe they'll figure it out, and I don't know, maybe they'll invade it or something. But regardless, pretty interesting episode. I really liked the fight between MK and his darker self the first time. The second time was a little bit more simplistic. No, wait, I think I got that flipped up. Those two flipped, but the fights were still interesting regardless. With and that's pretty much a given at this point for this show. I think that this show staples itself on creating really interesting fights, and you had that chain fight earlier on in the episode, so they always find a way, to keep things interesting with at least the fighting aspect of it. Uh, I guess if this episode was given a little bit more time, we could have probably seen a little bit more of Widow and now I forget her name. Uh, t- t- yeah, her daughter. I'll just say her daughter again, but apologies for that. But anyways, we could have seen them fight a little bit longer. I felt like, but then again, there are a lot of characters to follow here as well. So it is what it is. And it was more of a training session, so I'm pretty sure that would have not lasted as long, anyways. But I digress. Anyways, that is enough for this recap review. I enjoyed the episode personally. But if you like this review, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, farewell, everyone.